So yeah, I have two channels. I have everything I'm saying and doing here is uploaded to one channel. Then I have a primary channel. And for a YouTube discussion, that ties into the same thing. They're split up because the only viewers who are going to that archive channel are going to be people from Twitch. So I upload, what, 8 videos a week just from the Saturday stream to that one channel. Let's say a quarter of you guys watch it. Let's say right now, 30 people, quarter of you guys watch this VOD right now on YouTube. That video will have 7 to 8 views. If I had that high a percentage, which archive channels tend to not get that high of a percentage. But anyways, let's say I did that. What that would mean is, according to YouTube algorithms, I'm uploading at least 8 videos a week that only get 8 views. It actively goes against you. It does not help you at all. So I had to create this archive channel because if I did, YouTube would actively not show my other videos. Because YouTube would go, man, this guy's fucking boring. This could be the most entertaining Twitch videos ever, but a lot of you are going to watch it live and not want to watch it on the VOD. The archive channel is just for people who miss parts of the stream. So you're never going to get everyone to watch it. That's just not going to happen. And YouTube, because it saves all the videos, will actively count it against you. So that's not good. That's not good at all. So I basically had to split them up so I could have the videos for the people who needed it, and then the videos for trying to get views. And then if the people like those classes and those channels, I direct them that I'm on Twitch. I use that to go here. Do not use this to go there. Doesn't make sense. Unless I guess you're a reaction streamer. But then again, that's not using this to go there. That's just already the same thing. They're already there. ZXB, 4 inches up bedrooms, 7 unknown bedrooms. That's good. I had the side idea to that. So I had an example of this. By the way, for any of you who are half listening and or think I'm full of shit, I did this before. I did an experiment, and some of you are aware of this. Let me pull up the numbers. The numbers are easier to find under TikToks because he had more time to do it. I was in the middle of a school semester, so I could not do it. No, it wouldn't be Social Blade. Social Blade, by the way, not the greatest at predicting things. It kind of is, it kind of isn't. It's just a reductive math thing. Changes happen all the time. TikToks. Now I have this number under mine as well, but he was able to do it for more days, so it's a much bigger number. Yes, I am human. Why are you making me prove I'm human? What has a train? Train, 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 train. You're a bus on a train. You're a train. What contains a train? I hate captchas. I hate captchas so much. I need to see detailed statistics. Is this still in the timer? No, not detailed. I wanted the little bar graph. Oh, I would need to go back quite further. Okay. So, I'm going to post this in the chat. I'm going to post this in the chat just so anyone can see what I'm talking about. And it's not clogging up the VOD. But you can see on the bottom around January 28th, I identified a, we'll say, timing weakness in Terraria. 2 of their top streamers at the time, both within a couple streams, had announced they were going on vacation, which meant there was going to be a window where hundreds of people usually watch Terraria and they weren't going to have the guy they watched. So, problem is, this was right smack dab in the middle of when I was in classes. So, I did a few streams with TikToks, but TikToks was the one that was able to regularly do them. And February 4th, 497 channel views. February 18th, 19,230 channel views. After the guys came back, he kept some numbers and they went down, and now, admittedly, he's had some medical issues, but he dropped back down to around 300 to 400. 300 channel views, 20,000. It's literally just a question of metrics. That's all it comes down to. And I did a few of them myself when, like, he streamed one day really fucking long and couldn't stream the next day, and I was off from school. So I streamed in that time block, and I also jumped up to hundreds of hundreds of viewers at once. He nearly made partner in that. He very nearly made partner in that one massive push. I cannot, don't try asking me for some miracle work. I saw something and I experimented. I got lucky. I realized there was a chance to roll a nat 20. Doesn't mean we didn't still have to roll a nat 20. Let's be clear on this. It's not an end-all be-all analysis. But that's really what it comes down to. Terraria has a bigger shareable pool of videos than Dwarf Fortress does. If I wanted to, or if I was willing to lose my damn sanity. Because also, around that time, mine and his channel got slammed. Got fucking slammed with trolls and shit. And that was just obnoxious. But let's say during that time, or let's say I wanted to do this. Let's say I identify a similar issue. I find a loophole. I find a window in, and I do that again. In order to maintain it, in order to make partner, you'd have to probably maintain it for 2 months. So I'd somehow need there to be a 2 or 3 major streamer vacation for multiple months. And then I would need to stream hours, like 12 plus hours a day doing that. How that ended up working is if you can track down the actual details of those streams, they were always for over 16 hours. And that's because there's a cyclic viewership for Terraria. But people sometimes go to sleep. I don't even know how many of you are awake right now. I don't know. Maybe you all just love the sound of my voice and you've gone to sleep. People go to sleep with you on. So we realized that if you get on right before the initial surge, or I realized, you get on before the initial surge, you do better than the people there that are getting off, because a lot of people, I swear to God, a lot of streamers during that time, if they had just stayed on, if they're not partners now, they would have made partners. I kind of feel bad for some of them, but they would get off on their normally scheduled time because they didn't realize that the big streamer wasn't about to come on. So we get on, and those people, it would go to the next #1 stream. So we had about an hour window to do an entertaining stream that could pull in 20 views. If you could pull in 20 views, we could catch the people leaving the previous streamers who were getting off, and it would put us in position 1, just in time for all the massive surge of viewers to come in, and that would lock us in position 1. Some of them would peter out, over the evening, but not everyone signs off. As long as we kept streaming, we maintained the viewership. And what would happen about 8 to 12 hours later, the next wave of viewers would come on. But we had already locked position 1 because we were not getting out of the way. This was a very mean tactic. I am not in any way, shape, or form saying, oh, this is how nice people do things. I don't do shit like this on Dwarf Fortress because I pray no one does shit like this during Dwarf Fortress against me. Point being, though, it worked. It's just how the numbers work in the background. There's no morals to it. There's no friendship this or whatever. It's all done on Twitch. It's all just done automatically. It's just how it works. But yeah, no, we jumped up hundreds and thousands of views, and the average jumped up to fucking hundreds per video. It was crazy. But we had about a month window. That dude, those guys came back. They took their videos back because those were not in the sharing pool of viewers. That was their viewers who were just bored during that time, if that makes sense. We even had some jackass was accusing us of using bots. That shit pissed me off. That genuinely pissed me off because of everything I just explained to you. Like, think about trying to do the math and calculating out the fucking schedules of like 20 streamers to identify when that window was, and some people coming on would accuse you of doing bots. Shut the fuck up. Way more effort than paying a company for some fucking bots, you jackasses. Thank goodness you have regular trolls. I remember the trolls. I'm not awake when I'm awake most days. I'm awake when I meant to take a nap. Should I start streaming Dwarf? Not gonna happen though. Only Mondays, if anything. It was their sleepers. We were still out of food. Yeah, technically not a bot, but I put in the effort to identify the schedule. I didn't pay a company. It's fucking obnoxious. But that's just how that worked. That's how that worked. You just have to, you have to find a Goldilocks zone if you really want to grow. Again, you could be more entertaining than everyone above you, but Twitch shows the people who have the most views first, because the more people watching, the more money they get from commercials and the like. If they show the most boring person first, the viewers might leave. If the viewers leave, then they don't get to do the commercials. So they're gonna want to do the entertaining streamers because they're gonna hold you on the site for longer. So everything is literally a jockeying position. You want for position 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you only have 2 viewers, but you're the 3rd on the list for a video game, you're technically doing really good. It's just that that video game just doesn't have that big of a market. Or does it? That's when you're streaming. If a game has low numbers, but no one's streaming it, it might still have a decent market. There just might not be people streaming it anymore. There's that too. I'm not saying don't stream a game that has no one watching it. I'm just saying don't continue streaming a game that has no one watching it. You might be on the wrong time frame. That's always a thing. That is always an idea. Really, like I said, it's just metrics. It's really just metrics. Glad I don't want to grow. Yeah, I tune into some of yours, Steven. You hover, I think, around, well, when I'm able to catch, because I wake up near the end of the streams, because I think you start streaming when I'm still asleep on Sundays. But I think I've seen you between 4 and 6. Is that about right? Is that what you consider your average? I don't catch it every day, so I don't know. I might have only caught it during like a bad game or something. Around 2 to 4. All right, so let me look at something, and I will tell you real quick an idea. You don't have to do this. I'm not like, oh, do this if you want to do good. This is just me doing math here. Oh, I'm spelling fortress wrong.
Sarah, baby's been born.
Well, that's good.
That's just great. Another mouth to feed.
Sunday, Monday. You are, what, streaming Sunday around noon? When are you streaming? Like, I genuinely need the time you're streaming. I caught Steve streams like 3 to 4 times. I'm usually gaming myself. I want to get to the point on Twitch where I can interact with viewers and talk with people. I was already loopy that one day you were just doing readings. It's hard to start out because if nobody's watching, you can't really interact with yourself in an entertaining fashion. So I will give you that. Like, everything I'm saying is not 100% numbers behind the scenes. You still need to be, like, entertaining to be able to roll the dice, so to speak, to hope for that nat 20. Everything is luck, but luck is helped by hard work. So there is, I will admit, an aspect to it where you have to be entertaining when you're doing nothing. Like, you have to be able to maintain the progress.
Sarah, got an idea.
Well, that's nice. I'm trying to figure out how to get more stone.
No, never mind.
So if this is where I'm getting off, then that means I'm gonna do something crazy and we're gonna have diagonal halls. Now the problem is, can they walk down the middle? They can, and do it at a relatively good clip. I might need to expand this hall to a 5. I'm considering this a 3 front. It might be better to do it as a 5, but maybe not. We'll dig that out that way and see how it's going. I remember those days. I stream Sundays around 1 p.m. How long do you stream for? That's Sunday, that's Monday, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Where's the next Sunday? This is only going back a week. The one place I'm on only goes back a week, so I cannot guarantee the veracity of what I'm about to say. It may just be off of what happened last week. It usually goes from 1 hour to 30 to about 3 hours. All right, so 1300 to 1600. 1,300 to 1,600. All right. I will tell you right now, you're absolutely killing it. Not a single person around that time had 10 or above. As a matter of fact, in that time period on Sunday, you're basically dead for numbers. Viewers start popping in around 1900, 7 o'clock. If you're willing to try it, again, I don't know who streams at that time, so you're kind of like, there is someone streaming there, and that person or those people have over 10 views. I don't know if it's one person or multiple people, I just know in total. But if you start streaming a little bit before 7 to get some numbers, and then try to carry yourself through into 7, see if that wave of whatever you're able to get, if you're able to get that 2 to 4 or whatever, see if that wave will carry you into 7. And if you don't get double, triple the numbers. You don't have to. You know, I don't know what your schedule is. I'm not saying you need to do this, and I'm only basing this off of last week's numbers. I have nothing else to back that up except one number taken in a vacuum, which is the worst way to do analysis. As in, I'm making shit up. You would never submit this on anything requiring legit numbers and not get fired from your job. You do not just analyze one number by itself and come up with an answer. But I can't go into detail right now off of what I have quick access to. Namely, I would need to do this over 3 weeks to see the numbers. But off of what happened last week, numbers did not start going up until 1900. But it looked like they went up at 1910, which means, I don't know who, someone is starting to stream at 7 o'clock and they already have some core people. If they are not on, you can get some of their people, but also some of those numbers could just be people are wanting to watch Dwarf Fortress at that time. I don't know. I don't have any context for the numbers. I just know numbers do not go up for Dwarf Fortress on Sunday until 7 o'clock. The Longshore mod tomorrow is good to know. Like I said, if nothing happens, sorry I let you down. This is with 5 seconds of looking at a number. I cannot back that up with anything. All right, so I've decided I'm doing diagonals today. Down here, we should probably start doing bedrooms and suites. What I'm going to do is, I'm gonna try to see if I can make this be a circle. This seems so stupid to me. I do not know how this works. I have not actually tried a diagonal build, but fuck it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that would allow me to start going this way. 1. See, that looked weird. It's going to look weird no matter what. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, just bear with me counting out loud to myself. Since I'm doing it diagonally, it's kind of hard to keep track of where I am. My brain does not like looking at it this way. And I didn't even keep track during the second one, so counting the first one out loud is not gonna help me anyways. All right, so that was even. We'll go about 4 more out and then we'll go into the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because I need to go back 1 to go in. All right, yep, that looks like that's gonna work perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we bring them in together. This kind of hurts my brain. that can be fixed. If I do a little trimming, this is basically just now a diamond. And now the question is, did this line up? Nope, it's off by 1 up there, which means this whole thing needs to just go down 1. That is where I screwed up. So the thing I just erased was correct, but only on this side. Hold on. Bear with me, chat. All right, so do the same thing off of this one. I'm hitting the keys too hard. I think the mic is picking it up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now are you even? Straight through the middle. And over here. Straight through the middle. All right, we'll dig those out and we'll get bedrooms off of those. BluntLantern, what is your military experience? I was a Patriot operator in the United States Army. 14 Echo, Patriot Enhanced Operator Maintainer. Repaired, maintained, and operated the computer electronic system of the Patriot Enhanced Missile Defense System. I think I threw in an extra system, but the actual description uses the word system like 3 times. I don't know why. Basically, I sat on the computer in a moderately uncomfortable van, and I analyzed incoming flight patterns for whether or not they were a missile or a plane, and if they were a missile, what type of missile were they? Was the missile likely to be a threat to anything I cared about? And if so, how and when to best engage said missile to defend the United States and or any of our allies' assets. Big old game of missile defense. With the express purpose of shooting a missile to hit the missile, like shooting a bullet with a bullet, because that is how we've decided to do this now. The missile literally spears the other missiles. Fucking bonkers. It's actually, if I may toot my own horn, that right there, my background is actually one of my missiles. That's one of the missiles I launched coming out of one of the launchers. You know, there's also some people that like to go to the small streamer in any particular game. So, you bring this up and you have a point. Kinda doesn't matter. Everything I said so far is a generalization. It is a rule of how it seems to go. There is always an exception to the rule. There's always a part of the math formula that has something going against it. There's always a square, there's always a cube root, there's always something that makes it go wonky. If it doesn't pull in enough of a thing, then it doesn't matter. That particular one negates itself, if you think about it. I'm talking about growth. Long-term, not even growth, but long-term sizable numbers. If one guy has 100 and one guy has 2, someone might go to that guy with 2. Okay. Now he has 3. That hasn't helped him too much. What if we take this to a grander scale, though? Let's say it is relatively even, but we still have one big guy. We have a guy at 100, and then behind him we have people eating the scraps. We have 5 people. We have a 4, a 3, a 2, a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. In that order. 100, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Someone gets on, they go for the guy with the lowest views. Boom, he's got 2. Someone gets on, they go to the guy with the lowest views. One of those 2s becomes a 3. Then the other guy gets a 2. Then the next guy goes to one of those 3 3s. And then the next guy goes to one of those remaining 3s. It doesn't help anyone because the lowest person goes up by 1 tick, and there's always way more people at the low end than there are people at the high end. If you get even 2 people, if we're assuming it's an actual mathematical factor to be taken into, if you get in even 2 people, you're likely to no longer be the last streamer, which means any further growth from the viewers who are looking at the person with the lowest amount of views, not going to you. It negates itself. They help everyone evenly in that case. Dwarf number 6 for Righteous Boner. Welcome to the game, Righteous Boner. Why did I click the button to go to that computer to dwarf you? I don't know. I've lost my damn mind. I've been talking for far too much. Has nickname. Righteous Boner, you got a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Righteous Boner, you are a hunter. Don't worry, I have complete faith that you're not going to just die. Also, we have 1 or 2 vampires eating the base. Good luck with that. How's everyone doing? Everyone is doing great this day. I am doing fine. But you don't have access to things I want yet, so you are safe for now. Yes, I do hear the clickety-clack of keyboard. Looks pretty cool when our doors moves faster. It's a good-looking missile. It is a nice missile. I can now do the because I can command, but you don't have anything you want yet, so you are safe for now. Right now would be a good time to find the vampire while everyone else is starving. We have food. We have 900 food, but we have food. No one should be starving. You're right. It says no food available. Why are you starving? What is happening with the eggs? Are we not allowing people to eat the eggs? What is the other? We have eggs. I'll make a kitchen to start cooking the eggs, but we have eggs. I don't know why they're claiming the starvation. Here's what we're gonna do. Build, workshop, kitchen. I always forget kitchen. It's itchin, right? Isn't it an I? No, it's Z. Zitchin. I'm gonna put you in the back corner, as far away from everyone else as possible. Create a food stockpile here of not unprepared fish, not plants, not drinks, definitely not seeds. I'll leave that alone. I'll just leave that alone. Now, do I have a Chef Boyardee? The answer I already know is no. I know we do not have a Chef Boyardee. So, who is the best at the role of cooking? Stephen Robert 4. You're not the best, but I'll promote you anyways. Chef Boyardee. And then we'll just cook the damn eggs. We have food. They should not be starving. I know it says, oh, cancels give food. Can you... Who is needing to be given food? Also, someone got found dead. Is someone in a fight? I don't know. I don't know why it said cancels give food. Oh, are there animals? We probably don't have any plants, and there are animals that are grazing. Do they give food to grazing animals? I don't remember anymore. There are a lot of grazing animals. Probably should have had a bigger area than what I just did. Let's do one over here. Is this what they're trying to give food to? As stupid as that sounds? What if I put the yaks and the llamas and the lamb over here? The other one can have the reindeer cow, and we'll split them up a bit more later. I did not find the vampire. I didn't even attempt to look for the vampire. Right now, I am trying to get this river to dump more water in over here, but it's not working.
No more fishing.
Because it's not pressured. This is still going at the same rate as below. We don't have the verticality of the update system. All right, let's go back to my original idea. How well does it work if I suddenly make there be a vertical drop involved in this watering system? All new water will not be able to go to the edge. They would have to update down this hole. And we've seen before how well the vertical update system provides a pressure wave. Because what we've done is we've made the water go further, but still not far enough. I want this water to go. Now, essentially, I'm going to have to cheat to stop the water when I am done. full disclosure. But if I channel that down, the water should be good to go. I think. It depends on how fast until I cut it off. I think once this hits 6s, that won't be able to update over here anymore. So really, I'll only be feeding from one of the rivers. But we should get a nice surge of water coming out of this. We have 2 people. I definitely need the one thing. Yep, I see it. I clicked the one thing. I clicked onto the website and I clicked off the main screen, so I couldn't see it anymore. All right, we're gonna do that. And the military, we are wanting Relent 12. Relent, did you get dwarfed and I missed it? And Hellfire. Hellfire I can put in. Relent 12. Have I not dwarfed you? I know that you followed, and I appreciate that. However, I need you to type in !DWARF. Besides, I could just name a dwarf after you, but there's a script that keeps track of whether or not you're alive, and look at that pressure wave. There's a script that keeps track of whether or not you're alive. So in order for it to be working correctly in the future, I need you to essentially set the flag. Either...
We come here in hopes of a better life.
Good, more migrants. Huzzah. But yeah, as soon as we did the pressure wave, all of a sudden 7s started popping out. But these 7s are going to keep letting updates be closer to the front, so it will start closing. Which means these numbers aren't helping too much. Matter of fact, these numbers are counterproductive. These numbers are taking some of the numbers away from that. I heard it. Hold on. Let us pull this. And let us get you dwarfed. You got number 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You are currently a hauler, which means that you just have all the crafting skills and you carry things around. However, if I do see you show up top whenever I'm looking for a job, I'll grab you over an unnamed dwarf who it might be better. Giving birth to a girl. All right, Relent, I've got you in, and now that means I can put you in the military. If it's understood. Sometimes it takes the game a little bit for the name to go all the way through, but I finally got you in. All right, we reshut that door, which will save some of the pressure over here, so maybe we can get more numbers updating back there. I don't think so, though, because this is going to take priority over that, surely. I don't know. Maybe it's not. But that pressure wave is slowly, but traveling. Because remember, this couldn't even touch before. Now the ones are all the way over here.
Craven mad. Yep, there goes the pants. And the shirts.
I don't remember him having a mood.
Oh, the socks.
That would have been probably important to know and or remember. I do not remember that man having a mood. Doink. Thank you so much for the subscription, Relent. No. I don't want you using the iron crap. Just dolomite. You were already only going to be using the dolomite. I freaked out for no reason. I think the craft source made all the pots he can out of the featherwood. Oh my god. Are you just going to sit in there dead? Who is this? Unclaimed dwarf. No, these are good beds. ZXB. 29 without a bed, 7 unknown beds. I need to get the bedroom situation handled down below. But at least I'm starting to get stone to do this. Now here's the issue. With my current setup, this would be good. This would be fantastic for a... for suites. I just don't think this would be good for a dorm situation. Unless... What if I just do this? Technically, however long this is going to have to match however high it is. But this would be a diamond-shaped bedroom. I could even do 2. I started bringing it down. How many beds could I fit in that? Enough to get killed by a vampire? Hold on, let me do this real quick. This is how big? 22 by 22, if I've done this right. I think I would have had to have done that right. Yeah, 22 by 22. It's not 440, that'd be a perfect square. This is at some weird half goofy angle. We'll say 20 by 20, so what, 400? That's not 400, what the hell am I talking about? How big are you this way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That makes way more sense. If we treat it as 11 by 11, we get 121, which that looks like 121. All right, we'll just do the same thing over here. And then we can have the bedrooms. And for, you got Dwarf. I admittedly, unfortunately, skipped quite a few people earlier, but I do technically owe you your Dwarf's description. So you know what your Dwarf likes, because this will help you know what you can request for your Dwarf or what you should request for your Dwarf later on. I was just slightly involved with what was going on. Was this 22? 20. So this is 22. Then we cut it to the same size and go in from here. Trying to remember. I feel like there's still something I'd missed in my description earlier. Just trying to cover the numbers. There was a thing. I got distracted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is where we reach the hall. Doinketh. No problem. Thanks for streaming to our fortress. It's one off. Okay, he fixed it. For some reason, the Longshore mod keeps crashing during World Gen. It's fine if you don't, though. We usually just pick something wacky and random and fixate on bushes, birds, and... Oh, yeah. You don't have to do whatever your dwarf likes. You can just request stupid nonsense if you want. It's not even pertaining to your dwarf's room, necessarily. You can request things in other rooms as you so choose. Why are you trying to give food? Who are you trying to give food to? How's that kitchen going? Are you set up? I'm gonna put easy meals on repeat, just for the sheer quantity of it. What are you doing right now? Are you cooking tallow? Wait, that might be where a bunch of our... Wait, what's going on with the eggs? I has question. Stocks egg. They're not even a pot right now. Where are these? Are they just up here chillaxing? You shouldn't exist up here. Maybe for drinks. I'm gonna turn off eggs. I want all the eggs down below. I didn't even realize I had a food pile up here. Oh yeah, disallow that tallow. Kitchen, other, don't cook. Don't cook that tallow. There we go, eggs! Huzzah! No, or shareable. That, yes, okay. So, one of the gray areas for figuring out what the hell's going on with the numbers is there's an intermediate group of people, which you kind of half talked about when you said there are people that go for the lowest streamer. And that is the people who prefer you on that game. And I mentioned, I've kind of half discussed this particular topic before, but there are those of you, even when Blind IRL was streaming earlier, I was able to go to 20. I was able to go to 20, and that wasn't because of me getting some of the shared pool. That was because at that time, the people who were watching, for whatever reason, preferred me over Blind. I was not the person in position 1, so they weren't just here to watch Dwarf Fortress. They clicked on me over Blind. However, again, if I do a different game, or maybe even a different day, the number may be as low as 8 to 10. That means either either the day is off for the core or the game is off. So there's a group in there who might prefer you, if you're doing a game, who might prefer you for a game. But that's it. They may still, their priority of wanting to watch that game may supersede their priority for wanting to watch you. That viewer would be someone who clicks, say, Dwarf Fortress at that time, and then when they watch it, they see you, they go, oh yeah, the awesome dude. They click you. They may have you followed, and they may say you in that list, but they may follow 20, 30, 40 people, so they might not pay attention to it too much. But when they go to Dwarf Fortress and they see you, they'll click you. They are a fan of your content. But this is drastically different than someone getting on and they get a notification that you're live and they go to click you. Because if you're not there and you're doing a different game, they won't see you, they'll never click. This is one of the reasons a similar thing happens in YouTube. And this is one of the reasons why all these viewers, all the uploaders, the content creators are always not just saying, leave a like, subscribe, but they're always saying, smash the bell. They're always saying like, click the little notification button, click that notification button. It's basically because you can have followers, you can have subscribers, but they might not know to watch you. It might be someone they prefer to watch, but their feed may also be filled with a bunch of people. So if you do that notification bell, you're likely to get that person to watch you because they're watching you when it comes out, which means later on when they just mulling about in the subscriptions, doesn't matter if they click you, they don't need to. Now they are just clicking whoever randomly as they want to do to begin with. I don't have a term for this intermediate tier that isn't the game's fans or your fans, but your fans of that game. There's this weird area in the middle where that can also throw off some of your numbers. So, as I was saying, when I do 8 to 10, if I do, say, Platinum Games on a Tuesday, that is the group of you who are able to watch where the time is not completely relevant and the game is not relevant. There are quite a lot of people who would probably be like, the game is not relevant, but the time might be. So you have to, if you're ever trying to figure out what you can or can't do, you have to either try a different game or a different time. Do not do both. And I try to say this way back at the beginning. If you want to experiment and see who your fans are, do a stream at a normal time, but do a different game and see who still sticks around. Those are your fans who like you regardless of the game. Do the same game but on a different day, and these are your fans who are unavailable at a different time. Doesn't mean that they like you any less, they may have other life things coming in. But they're unable to watch you at a different time. You have to calculate out both time availability and actual level of commitment to being your fan. A lot of the numbers I can look at and try to work around are time availability. However, a lot of time that time availability says is good is time that's never good for me to do it. So there's always a slight issue. Those are some very pale dogs. We need to get the butcher set up sooner rather than later. This area down here was supposed to be the dead, right? Also, how is that? Yeah, the 7s are still pushing. That pressure wave is doing wonders. the hell was I just talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, it's time availability, time versus fans, or I should say time versus game. I lost the train of thought. I got so distracted by the dogs, I lost my train of thought. Those should get marked for detreeing now. Oh, variety. This is kind of like the thing that was going all the way back to the beginning. A variety streamer, just streaming variety, is not going to grow. It's not going to happen. Because there is a natural progression of viewers and fans, or from viewers to fans, of I watch the game, I watch you doing the game, I watch you. You are not, you need to roll like 2 nat 20s in a row to get a viewer straight to I watch you no matter what you're doing. Like, it's so much harder to get someone from I'm watching this game to I watch you than it is to get from I watch this game to I watch you do this game. So if you're a variety streamer, you're only ever growing off of 2 nat 20s, not a nat 20, if that makes sense. If you don't do D&D, I guess it doesn't make sense. It's like a 1 in 20 versus a 1 in 400. It is possible, but so much harder. So if you're trying to grow, or if you're wanting to know why your numbers are plateauing, if you do a lot of variety, that's never going to help. So when I'm not doing Dwarf Fortress, you know, Final Fantasy Platinum games, that's not wholly helping my case. It doesn't help my position if someone really likes me doing Dwarf Fortress, but what if on Tuesday someone really, really likes me doing Bayonetta? Well, I switched from Bayonetta to Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. By the second stream of Bayonetta, I had more viewers than my first stream of Bayonetta. Rising Revengeance had less viewers. It may be because they didn't like Rising Revengeance. That is a possibility. Or it may be because they were a fan of me doing Bayonetta, or just a fan of Bayonetta. There's no chance for growth because I'm not constantly doing either the same game or necessarily the same genre. Guild Hall for the Company of Packing now requires a guild hall for the Farmers Guild. So they can re-request, I guess? What are the other artifacts I made? Can I put one in there? A macadamia wood toy boat, a dog bone spear. This does not help me. However, I essentially have a new timer on them, so I can put in statues. And I have plenty of stone, so let's do some statues. We'll do 6 statues. That'll be enough to pump them up. And now that I've done Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, I'll do on Tuesday, I'll do the 2 DLCs. And there might be people who watch me do Rising: Revengeance who will now watch the DLCs. However, I didn't have the same numbers as I had by the end of Bayonetta. It's not like I'm going to get those numbers back. They're probably just there to watch Bayonetta. So even though I had decent numbers by the end of Bayonetta, those aren't like my decent numbers. Those are the game's numbers. There's a difference that you have to parse whenever you look at any of your numbers. Like, this is why you don't get too hung up on any of your numbers. Because you never know for any stream what was your number, what was not your number, or what was an influx because someone else didn't have their numbers. I.e., you got a bigger share of the shareable viewer, a bigger share of the shareable viewership. You just have to see what regularly happens to your numbers. Fans of the game versus the streamer's fans. Company of Packing, almost as good as the Willing Holes. Yeah, they'll request. You can keep closing down guild holes for repeated positive moods for the guild being recreated. You also have surfers who only watch a game for whatever reason. Check it out. Yes, there is also that. I have also... Woodcutter is dead. Now, admittedly, this next one is an experiment that I did for whatever reason when I got a hair across my ass, and it works. Don't do it low. Do not, if you see someone doing it and you think they get good numbers, do not do it. I have put $150 $150 on the line for an experiment, and I have proven what I kind of already knew was the answer, but at least I did it. I love doing experiments. I'm a crazy person. And what I'm talking about is, do not, unless you're gifted it by a game company, do game codes. For whatever reason. Do not do game codes. It does not work. The experiment in question was, forgetting the name of the game right now, it is a Mafia werewolf style game that involved being in the snow. It's a fun game. I would probably play it again, except for, I don't know why, I lost interest. I'm forgetting the name of the game right now. A bunch of you who've been here forever know the exact game I'm talking about. I did it with, one of the points was Wild 8. Was that it? Is that the one I did with TikToks? I didn't do it with TikToks. He ended up getting one of the codes and he played with me. I got him good. That's still one of my favorite clips, is when I got his ass good. Was it called Wild 8? It is a snow survival game where everyone has to do a series of tasks to get a helicopter to come in so that you can get on the helicopter to get out. Except one or two of you are traitors slowly trying to get everyone else killed, or to somehow prevent the other people from doing those tasks. I'm gonna promote a coffin. Yeah, it's basically, you're right. It's basically Town of Salem, but you're moving around doing things during it. But yeah, Town of Salem is just a werewolf game, just rebranded. But anyways, during that stream, I had purchased 10 gift codes on Steam for $15 each to test something. One, every hour on the hour amongst the people who were there, had they been watching, I think, for 20 minutes prior, I did a raffle to give out a gift code right then and there in the middle of the stream. Here you go, have at it. You want to join a game? Let's play together. It worked. I got a decent amount of numbers, especially compared to my numbers at the time, for doing that. A lot of people came in. However, of the 10 codes, 4 people who got a code did not join me in game, or 3 people who got a code did not join me in game and never showed up in my stream immediately after that. They got the code and left. Gone. There are people that will see if you mention codes that will show up to get a code for the game. They do not care about you streaming it. They do not care about watching it. Only works if you Humble Bundle. No, even then, I have a ton of Humble Bundle codes and I've thought about it. And perhaps at some point I would give some out to people in the Discord. Like, you're like, oh, I'd like that. And I'm like, well, I got the code, here you go. But I generally don't even think for Humble Bundle codes would I do giveaways, because it's essentially half a waste of time. One, like I said, they take the code, they run immediately. Even if I wasn't paying money for it, that number of their viewership, I only at most held them for 1 hour. Like, it doesn't help you do the channel at all. You talking to that person and giving them a code has wasted your time. It has not helped you at all in that particular case. My thing was whether or not I could overcome this with the idea of a game like that, because you could play with them immediately. I thought maybe I could get them. It was the idea to see if I could shortcut the fan of the game, fan of me doing the game, fan of me. You get what I'm saying? I was seeing if maybe I could get some people over. A bunch of times, a bunch of you guys won the codes. Fantastic. Not against that, but that should be weighted against the numbers. There are a good amount of people who are going to win the code that were already your fans. So they enjoy you more. You guys enjoy the games as far as I'm aware. That's fine and dandy. However, that would be a Humble Bundle situation. At that point, I paid money for them to get the game. That only really works if I keep playing with that person. I didn't keep playing the game. So maybe they enjoyed it, but they're not likely to if they were enjoying it when I was doing it. I don't know how many of you have that game now in your Steam library and just don't do it anymore. It's just taking up space, essentially. It's on your account. It was fun, but I wouldn't say pay money to get the code to do that. That is something that you need to be like, all right, I need 4 of us to do this. I will get your codes. We'll play the game together for the next 2 months or something. That is something that you need to plan out, not a random giveaway. A random giveaway, that doesn't help you much in a random giveaway. That is something you need to plan out with your viewers, not the way I did it. 1, people left. 2, your fans can get it. It's not a bad thing for your fans to get rewarded. That it's always nice to work with fans, but if you don't keep doing the game, then you've essentially just given them a random game. They might not necessarily be interested in the game. I don't know how many of you would care about the game if you hadn't gotten the code from me. So it's kind of like a null point. Like, what was the point of it? We all got entertainment for the couple of days I did it, but those of you who are here regularly, I gave you one of those codes. Did you go on to play the game on your own? Be honest. Did you play the game on your own? If you didn't play the game on your own, then I paid $15 for you to not get entertainment. If it's a bundle thing, perhaps you could say, hey, I have these 10 keys, which one would you like? Then you're giving your viewers something they like, not necessarily something that you happen to be doing. You're essentially hoping you've given them the right gift blindly. It doesn't really work. What I have of your merchants? Nothing. 2, the day I streamed it without the codes, numbers plummeted by 50%. There were people that stayed the entire stream. There were people that got the code. There was people that played with me. They didn't show up when I wasn't doing the codes, even if they were willing to do it at that point, because what's happened at that point is you've gotten them interested in the game, but when you stop streaming, they probably didn't stop watching. So they might have gone and seen someone else streaming it who does stream that game regularly. Because they stream the game regularly, that other person is a person that is their fan for the game, not you. They may remember you and they may watch you occasionally, but there's a good chance, particularly if you're coming into an already entrenched game, that you are now going to lose that person to someone more entertaining or more experienced with that game in question. Again, if they're not fans of you, not necessarily you doing the game, it doesn't help you too much. In this particular case, again, the Humble Bundle thing might be a good side thing, but that's only because you're not putting the money into it. And they might be able to choose the game, but that's not necessarily going to make them watch you do it anymore. At the end, what you're putting in is not what you were getting out. I would not suggest anyone trying to grow their channel at low levels to do that. At upper levels, you're probably being given a set of keys to do the game by a company. At which point, admittedly, you're probably not streaming to your fans, you're streaming to the company. Because the company's seeing how many people you can get interested in their game. If you do really well, they'll come back and talk to you more. Because you have to work with viewers as well as companies. So there's a different aspect to that entirely. But again, if you're trying to grow from low, you're not likely to be getting contacted by companies that's not helping you. Medium levels, this changes a bit, but for a completely different reason. Build construction wall. Dolomite block. Project Winter, thank you. Only work if you humble or search the description you gave in Project Winter's a game that showed up. Also, you own this game. I did because I played it. I streamed it. Game looks interesting. Also, I now have an expansion. It now has. When it comes to that section of rant, I have someone for you to watch if you can, Airmill. Uptime.
Oh, I can't figure it out. It's...
Oh, good. A holler has been possessed. I am so happy.
I will do it myself. You should be my hands.
Yes, I should be your hands.
So do not do that. I've done the experiment. I kind of already knew it. You can find anyone on YouTube who will essentially half say the same thing. I'm not saying anything technically new. However, usually what you see on those videos is they're like, oh, just don't do it. It's bad. It's not worth it. With no explanation why. I've given you the explanation. None of the outcomes are technically a good outcome. Like I said, the best outcome there is that one of your regular viewers wins it. That is the best outcome. Because at that point, you're giving back something to your community. That is the best outcome. However, it's not necessarily a good one. You don't know if that person's even going to play that game maybe they'd have played it if you keep streaming it, but now you're going to have to keep streaming it. So it better be, like, I would love to keep doing that game. I love those types of games, but I do Dwarf Fortress on Saturdays. I go back to, essentially at that point you're doing a variety. You have to not niche, but you have to hone in what you're trying to stream. Yeah. You guys don't remember me streaming the whatever the cold game was? Steven Robert already said the name. Project Winter. You guys don't remember me doing Project Winter? I might have missed it. Much sadness.
You there, stop that singing.
Oh good, more migrants. I'm so happy. Did the one dude, by the way, cancel claiming a thing? Playing the Crafts Dwarf. He's moving, so he must be good. Maybe 7 to 8 months. I only caught part of it. I think I recall the game may have been, but I don't know. So again, it's a good game. I like the game. I just don't think I can stream it regularly. Also, because that type of game has a mad issue, which is if you're streaming it, you can be stream sniped, and if you stream it enough and get big, then people will kind of get used to your mannerisms, so it makes the game harder to do. Just for that style of game. There's another one like that that I've debated streaming. I haven't gotten it yet. I've seen it a few times. I'm forgetting what it is though. What is it called? Everyone looks like they're weird little. Everyone looks like they're wearing spacesuit onesies of monochrome colors. You have to do a bunch of missions around this tiny map, much smaller than the snow one, Project Winter. I've thought about doing that one, but you run into the same issue where you really can't. That particular style of game, you end up biting yourself in the ass just for playing the game, because a lot of the entertainment value is when you do really good in that style of game. Everyone loves to see you pull the wool over someone's eye. But the problem is if you get so big in that game that everyone's watched you, they know how you act from your perspective. Like if you, let's say me and 10 of you guys always did that game, you playing the game with me constantly would have a harder time identifying when I'm lying than someone who's watching me doing those games, because you only know what I'm saying to you and what you think I'm doing. Someone watching me stream it, because you're keeping up chat and everything else, hears you and your thought process. So someone you're playing against, you can play with them over and over and over again, and they might get some of your mannerisms, but they're not going to be able to read you as well as someone who watches you stream it, because they hear you literally say your thought process every time it goes up. So if you say or do something slightly weird, maybe someone that's opposing you wouldn't catch on to it, because maybe they didn't catch the detail of you doing it. But someone watching you stream it would be like, I'm willing to bet around that corner you just did this, because you always do this around that corner, so on and so forth. So Among Us, yes, that's it. I think that's the game. He's still moving. I don't know where he is. An online local party game, a teamwork and material. Like I said, I love those style of games. I really do. And perhaps we could stream it a bit. But for the topic of what we're discussing, I do not think you could easily grow off of just that game. If you had a genre of that game that you stream, you would grow with that. You could not grow off of one game, because it would be too easy to start countering you. And if you start looking like you're doing bad, you're going to get less views. Also, holy shit, we've gone up to midnight. Holy fuck. You guys got me you got me monologuing, you son of a bitch. All right, I see we're past that. I'm going to start maybe 15, 20 more minutes. I've got to figure out how to start cleaning up. We have crafts for you, right? Do we have crafts for you? I feel like we made crafts. Yes. Let us bring them crafts. He sat in that corner with a shotgun just to have the silver shotgun. I don't know what you're talking about. Apparently it has rich integration with Discord. Enough time for a reaction? Yeah, it has, suffer. No, like I said, it looks like it's a good game. I'm not saying anything against it being viable to play or to stream. What I'm saying is, I feel like in order for that game to work, you need to have a sizable base beforehand. You need to have a sizable base that you could stream it on different days so different people catch different games or different aspects of you streaming. That's what I'm saying. Like, you need to be at a certain tier, I think. I do not think you could grow from nothing with that game or that style of game. I don't think you can. I plateau around 30, 35, 40. I don't think you grow from where I am with that style of game. I just don't think you can. There are a bunch of games that you can grow with, but you need a minimum chunky base to grow with it. And that type of game, I think, is one of the games that would require you to have a chunky base. If you don't have the chunky base, I don't think you can do it. Yeah, also the people to play with. Oh my God. I swear to God. That's also a thing too. That type of thing would require everyone to be able to be heard. Like, let's be frank here. All right, I'm Frank, not RNG strategist. I'm Frank, you're also Frank, and you over there in the corner, you're Frank as well. Everyone is Frank. If you find any successful person or persons doing those style of games, there's a group. There's a group because of two things. One, you kind of need to make sure everyone has a good mic. Everyone kind of needs to have a good mic, and everyone needs to know what to expect from everyone else. Because besides a good mic and make sure everyone can definitely understand each other, number two, you cannot risk someone getting into the communication and saying something to get you in trouble on Twitch, YouTube, the internet, what have you. You can't. So it requires a level of trust that you can't just do with regular random viewers necessarily. Like, maybe someone can get in. Like, you'll see a lot of those things where, like you said, it's on Discord. Like, oh, if you are a Patreon/sub or something, then you can enter this list, and I pull from this list to play with me during a game. One, besides the fact that someone's paying you on Patreon, so that kind of helps you a little bit. Two, if someone's willing to pay you money monthly to get on a list to get into a game, they're far, far less likely to be a troll trying to get you in trouble than someone who's actually there to... They're far less likely to be a troll than someone who's actually there to be entertained and have fun with you. Now, I made a bunch of crafts earlier. This is all the crafts I made. 330 gold dwarf pieces. I call bullshit. Bark scorpion venom. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with that. I'm not gonna do with any of these. You have garbage. Silver warhammer. I will trade you. I can't even trade for a silver warhammer. Iron pick. You're way too expensive. Cheap iron pick. I can't trade for anything. Oh no. I'll get some cloth. All right, he began his mysterious construction. I think we did good today. After I stop the recording, if you guys want, we can look into what this looks like three-dimensionally. I'm just learning the game now. I suck at it, but it's fun. Civ 6? I think I have Civ 6. Problem is, for those style of games, I think I like the proper sci-fi ones better. And And also a thing for Civ 6, in order for that to work, even if everyone's friends, everyone needs to have a good computer. Some of those games go as slow as the slowest person connecting. And I love you guys like family, but you don't necessarily all have good computers. And if you're big enough, easily able to overcome. An off game here or there is not going to be a problem. But if you're trying to grow, that could just get in your way. And again, most everything I'm saying here is growing from nothing, not actually doing well in the long term if you're big. Like I said, there's basically 3 tiers. There's 3 tiers, or technically 4. There's 3 normal tiers and then a 4th special tier of growth. Tier 1, getting the foothold. 1 to 15. Give or take. 1 to 15. Not even like core, but regularly.
I've made an amazing artifact.
The Haulers created a Dolomite mug. Screw you. Lockpack, a Dolomite mug worth 9,600 Dwarf bucks. This is a Dolomite mug. All craft dwarfship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of round Dolomite cabicons, and the object menaces with spikes of Dolomite and pigtail. Thanks. Just what I always wanted. A mug. Where's the statue? That kind of interrupted me. I don't remember what the hell I was talking about. Let me get more statues in here. Everyone loves statues. Statues make the world go round. We should build a museum for the mug. You're insane. You were talking about us playing Among Us in Civ 6. Strong computer or something after that. Need a good, 1 to 15, you're trying to grow. The problem is at any point there could be a variance of 15. Straight up. There could be a variance of 15 people for whatever reason. If you look at fucking Blind, you look at Cupo, you look at me, you look at TikToks when he's not feeling under the weather, the numbers scales up with bigger streamers, so math is involved there. But there could be, for any number of reasons, a variance of 15. You're streaming shit, even though generally it's within your country or your own time zone, essentially around the world. For any reason whatsoever, one stream to the next could be, or measures outside of control, a variance of 15. Closer to 12, but of up to 15. And again, I don't have this specific number. This is me looking at numbers, so no real science behind this. Variance of around 15. Once you're above 15, or regularly above 15, then you should subtract 15 off it, and that is your first, we'll say, base. Even without this variance, you know you're going to be getting the 1, the 2, the 3, and it kind of builds up from there. The next one is over 20. Over 20. As close as it is to the 15, again, that's probably closer to 10 to 12. I'm just slightly extending it because I didn't... Real rigorous math was not done there, so there's a gray area. But above 20. That's basically where I am now, by the way. Not that much. Above 20 is an easy plateau that most people stick at. Enough to have regular views. Enough to say be a name known, possibly in streaming. But at the end of the day, you could have a bad day or a bad idea. Something could happen. And it could be difficult to recover from, we'll say. It's not a number that has... If I don't do Dwarf Fortress, I don't have the numbers. Like you have numbers, but you don't necessarily have completely dependable numbers. You have numbers You have a safety net, it's just not big. Above 20, you know you have a safety net. It's just not a big one. The next one, 50. Because the numbers start going up. Somewhere between 40 and 50, we'll say 43. At this point, if you are regularly pulling in 43 or above, you're growing. Even if you're not growing, you're growing. There's enough people during your time slot watching you that you are a known name and word of mouth could spread. Someone could mention you more likely in other similarly sized streams. That is the next tier up. You are no longer necessarily working about your safety net. Even if 15 dropped, you're above 35. You're above 20 without the 15 variance. So really, it'd probably be closer to 35. But again, numbers kind of start at third roots and shit. It's around like 43 or whatever. You're able to spread even when you're not talking. At that point, you're probably getting regularly on stream, we'll say support. Fan art, things like that, if that makes sense. Fan art's a bit of extreme thing, but you can tell the difference between Critical Role and other D&D streams. I'll use that as an example. Critical Role, you can just find fan art. It just generates itself. Critical Role, I think, stopped doing things for like a month and a half because of the coronavirus. I do not think they were negatively affected, like directly because people weren't watching. Yeah, but their numbers, people were bored, so they made fan art for them. Around 45, you're likely to start having people share your things for you. Not necessarily have to be fan art. That was an example. But people on their own, you have enough people that conversations will start happening without you having to try. It may be slow, but it's kind of self-propagating. Next number, technically, even though I don't have math to back it up, it's just the way the system is 70-75. That's because once you are there, Twitch considers you a partner if you qualify for the partner program, and you get support from Twitch. Things are a lot easier when the company you are working for starts supporting you. On YouTube, the number would be 1,000 subs. Because the company will now give you more benefits and assist you. That one has nothing to do with math or anything being directly involved. That's just because that's where that company drew the line. And then after that, you just have regular growth. There's technically another one above that, and that is when you are the name. And it's different for every game. That's why I didn't count that in my core ones. You're successful, and then you're like the name. You're the one people know. For that number may be different. Blind is partner, even though some of his things don't have 70. However, Blind is technically, by my math, in that top one. Everyone knows Blind. Everyone knows Blind one way or another. You're not going to have anyone talk about Dwarf Fortress, particularly on Steam, and not mention Blind. That's it. Now, does he have the 70 numbers for all of his streams right now? No. But he hit partner at some point, which is why that one's technically a gray area. It's not a hard number. It's just when the company supports you, it helps you to cement your position. Whether or not he makes use of all those benefits is something completely different, but that is technically a marker by which you can evaluate yourself by. But he is, even with a lesser number, he is above that stage, as he's a name. He has regularly enough clout that he can do things that other people are not likely to do. He got an interview with Tarn. I have no clue how he did that. He got an interview with Tarn. When we were doing the experiment with TikToks, and he got those massive numbers regularly, and I had gotten some of them, some companies had started talking to us, but mostly to him. He's the one who regularly had all the numbers for doing things with Terraria. Like, it's above 70. I don't have a legit number for that one, but there just becomes a point where you're the name. You are the discussion whenever the discussion comes up. And each and every one of these steps technically creates more opportunities. What are the opportunities? I don't have specifics of it, but basically you should think of it as more chances to roll the D20. It's really what it comes down to. Regardless of what shape it takes, every new tier somehow grants you more opportunities. different shapes, different sizes, but at the end, they all grant you more chances to roll the d20. And it's far easier to get a nat 20 if you're rolling the dice more times. So, whatever you can do at lower levels to try to guarantee even a slight bonus to those rolls or having more rolls is beneficial. When you're far higher, you already have natural bonuses to those rolls. You're just looking for more of them. You're not looking to make the most of the rolls you have. Two different priorities. Oh no, he died out in public. This vampire has no shame. You were talking about us playing and how the Stellaris 15 is a good round number. It rounds to 100 as the multiples of 90 and 105. Doesn't enjoy some good art. Critters make fan art of stuff that happens within minutes of it happening in the stream. Exactly. Like they have long since hit the point where it fuels itself. That entire system fuels itself and is just amazing. I don't think he's partner because of Dwarf Fortress. No, I don't think he had anything to do with Dwarf Fortress. But my point is, like, there's technically a tier in Twitch that is not numerically based, and that's just are you not partner. It makes things easier for you on the back end if you're partner. I am not saying that as a normal stage of growth. Do not get that confused. Just right now, I threw that in around near the end because now it requires you to have an average views of 75, I think, over the course of a month. Something like that. That's just where it happens to be now. It used to be, and I don't know when he did it, but it used to be easier to be partner. If you're one of the people that started streaming way back in the beginning when you need like 20 people and you can make partner, congratulations. As far as I'm concerned, all those lower numbers do not apply if you have made partner. They just don't. Any investigator, vampire, just sniping people left and right, uptime. I need to catch up on your videos. They have been uploading, the VODs have been uploading regularly. I think about 2 a day on the archive channel. One at 3 o'clock in the morning, one at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When I have them edited. Well, all those videos are edited when they've got complete meta info. I forget we went over this before. I forget the term. But you know, you're talking about those social interactions. Those social interactions only apply if you've already got numbers. Like that. Like they only apply if you know what I'm saying. Like you're not going to start streaming. In your very first stream, you're part of Hot Potato. That's not really going to happen in your very, very first stream. No one even knows if you have a good enough computer. Certain things fuel others. I've abstracted a lot of things out of this, but there's different priorities to growing from already having grown. It's like ×2 or +2. Legit question. No context right now. Would you rather ×2 or +2? Yep. ×2. All right. Stephen Robert has gone for ×2. Does anyone else wish to weigh in on ×2 or +2? Still no context. This is an answer that everyone's going to fail. You might as well weigh in on where you'd rather be. I got 2 for ×2. I got divide by 0, 3 for ×2. So everyone's going for ×2. I was kind of hoping at least someone would go for +2. Thank you, Tachilu. +2. Here's the thing. I said there was no context, and there's not. There was no way to have made a fair decision off of what I said. Zach, though, started to hit the nail on the head, but I did not give you the option to make two different decisions. Not everyone has the same context. I didn't give you a context because everyone has different context. If after the fact I wish to be a jackass, and I say everyone who said ×2 is at a 1, and everyone who said a +2 is at 1,000. The 1,000 people don't really care about the +2. You would have gone for the ×2. People who went for the ×2 would have rather the +2 because they would have had 3. Everyone's contexts are different. This is exactly what I've been trying to say. There are certain things that bigger people will be doing that work for those bigger streams that do not work for you. Initially, yes, if you're too low, you would rather the +2. ×2 does not help you. But once you get to 3, as stupid as this example is, +2 doesn't work. ×3 works better, and it only works even better the bigger your initial number is. Why waste your time on +2s when you're at 1,000? If I waste my time, I could get 4 +2s or 1 ×2. 1 ×2, please. Different stages of growth have different priorities. Even if you're not trying to grow, because like I said, I mean, I want to grow, but I want to grow because I like teaching people. You know, I would look like my ultimate end goal would be if I was one of the name brands, so to speak, but for learning shit. And like, I don't need to be no PewDiePie or something. I don't need fucking people chasing me around throughout the night. Like, look at him, no, good God, no. But I would love to be the person known for ask him a question, he'll answer. He'll have an answer for you. That's mostly right. I would love for that to be the case. Whatever your goal is, having more numbers can help it. If you have a goal where having less numbers helps your goal, then technically having no numbers is the correct answer and you just shouldn't do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't stream. My point is, if you're probably thinking something wrong if you're thinking you want less numbers. That doesn't make sense. If you want less numbers, you wouldn't want to be streaming. Unless, I don't know, someone had a gun to your head. That is way wrong. This is supposed to end up with a path underground later. Build construction wall. Made a huge streamer and leech off his viewers. So, you're making a joke, but you're not completely wrong. What you were talking about, the dating thing's the joke, but the leech off his viewers thing isn't. But even at that point, you're hoping to get big enough that somehow you're able to get viewers off of the big streamer or the big YouTuber. We joked about her a while ago when she was doing the fucking bathwater. The pink chick. The chick who was selling the bathwater. We made fun of her a while ago, but how did she get to that point? How was she able to get to the point where weirdos wanted to buy her fucking bathwater? The reason why she got to that point was the big Net 20 event was that PewDiePie discussed her. PewDiePie mentioned her. She had to have already been big enough / interesting enough for PewDiePie to notice her, and then she got a massive boost off of that mention. That's what did it. Not saying she didn't do anything on her own, but what she did set the foundation, and then that helped. That was like the big fire to all the gasoline she'd been pouring. That was what happened there. That happens a lot. That genuinely happens a lot. That used to happen a bit more regularly. I don't know what the modern day equivalent, well, I say modern day, what the current equivalent would be. That's what the co-optional podcast. When you had Total Biscuit, Jesse Cox, Dodger, And at one point, they would just randomly do a fourth guy. Like, a lot of times it'd be their friends, but also if someone was an up-and-comer and he was doing good shit, he would be invited to a thing of the Co-optional Podcast, and he'd get a little shout out at the end. He got to shout himself out. What's her name? It was called the something effect. She gave everyone a car. I'm forgetting her name right now. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, and everyone gets a car. Oprah. It was called the Oprah effect. She even got sued for it. If she said that, if she mentioned your book during her book time, your book was guaranteed to shoot to the top of the charts. If she mentioned that she liked your cookies, you suddenly became the cookie producer of that state. I forget what that one was. I'm forgetting the details, but it was like cookies or something. There was just this couple that made cookies, and they did okay. They had a thriving business, but that was it. It was okay. They were noticeable. Somehow they were big enough to sell in the right store. They got Oprah's attention. Oprah mentioned she really liked those cookies, and they made so much money that like they upgraded from like a little bakery to like having like an industry producer building. You know what I'm saying? So you joke about that, like just date someone who's a lot bigger than you and leech off their numbers, but that's a thing. Just not the dating aspect of it. That is genuinely a thing. Build construction floor. But even for that to work, you need to be in the position for the big streamer, the big YouTuber, the big whoever it is to notice your thing and to notice it enough to mention it even in passing. It's basically how art works. You can be an artist nowadays and you're not going to get anything until one guy finally is like, oh, I really like this art. Then everyone will be like, oh, he likes that art, so it must be good art. And now your art sells for millions. Your art didn't suddenly get better. Everyone likes your art because that guy likes your art. But now that everyone likes your art, you can afford all the good tools and tutors and shit to make your art better. That's not a complete joke. That's a legit thing that happens. Yeah, I really hope nobody watches it. So, yes, but no. I'm going to upload this condom. I really hope nobody watches it. Belle Duffy. Now she's selling branded condoms to people who will never use them. Figure someone can make money selling bathwater to basically win the internet. Nestle sells bottled water for less. Lola's hilarious. Oprah. Look, I have a better one. It's called Get Good, friend of a pretty big streamer, and then leech off them without knowing. Oprah's the reason Dr. Phil exists. And it's not even a doctor. Still can't paint a good can of tomato soup. So much good art and so few famous artists. But no, shit. The one comment went off the screen. You have messed everything up. What have I messed? I didn't mess anything up. If you just stream, what if you just stream for shiggles and numbers mean nothing because it's not planned to be anything? So, I figured that was going to come up at some point. That's not completely true. It's not true at all. There are a lot of people who stream just for their friends or just to have fun with people. I'm not saying that that is not a thing. However, what that means is your goal is a certain number, but you want your goal, you want your number to be that number. You're not going to stream for straight hour for like 8 hours, 5 days a week to 0 people. You want some people there. You're not expecting good growth, but you're hoping for interactions. If you're just streaming for shiggles, then you're streaming without a goal in mind. That's fine, but that does not mean you want lower numbers. That just means you're not caring about the numbers. There's a difference between not having a determined end goal and actively wanting the opposite goal. That is not the same thing. I'm not saying everyone wants to grow and be massive, but at that point in the conversation, nobody is wanting to do things that reduces their number. Even if you're streaming for shiggles, let's say you stream for shiggles and regularly you get 7 people And they're the greatest people you've ever seen on the internet. Golly gee, you'd give your life for one of them. If they showed up at your door right now and they say, hey, I need you to help me bury this body, you'd bury a body with them because they're your friends, the 7 people that watch you when you stream. I may have overhyped the friendship thing, but follow me here. You say or do something. Let's say you say blue is white. 5 of them leave. And a swamp titan ruins your day, and 5 of them leave. The next time they come back, are you going to say or do the thing that made 5 of them leave? No, you're not. No, you are not. And I know you're like, well, if they're going to leave like that easy, then they're not really the... We're beyond that. We're talking about literally you going out of your way to piss them off. Not this is the type of person who leaves because you said blue is white, even though that was the exact same example. You're not going to go out of your way to piss them off. You're not going to chase them away. There are actions that lower your numbers that would chase away not completely friends. You don't want to do that. Nobody does. Even if you're streaming for shiggles, you are not going to actively push people away. So reasonably, you probably shouldn't do things that are even going to accidentally be pushing those same people away. You could have a level of what you consider something that people need to just not care about or care about. That's completely different. You're not going to do it. By the way,
The swamp titan Oosteringkul Renal Pekon has come. A towering humanoid composed of mud? It has a broad shell and it moves deliberately, not accidentally. Beware its deadly spit.
oh goody. A swamp titan. Well, on the bright side, he's going the long way around, so I guess our defenses are working. On the negative side, we're all going to die. Maybe we'll be able to bludgeon him. He's made of mud, so I'm assuming he's going to be weak-ish. That's right, he does spit. I forgot about that. I forgot it did mention, you know, the spitting thing. Like he's a fucking alpaca. Who's over there, a bird? Relit cheered 100 bits. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Swamp Titan interrupts my rant.
I forgot that had text-to-speech. I didn't mean to talk over it. Oh, good. Look at all the archers actually doing shit. Holy shit. Oh, wait, no, that's not mine. That's the traders. Well, we're trying so hard, let me tell you. I feel like the AI is doing everything for me. Can they even get up from down there? Yeah, there's a little path right here. What just happened? Oh no, we found a dead dog. The humanity. We win. Buttman. I just want to go in. How do I spell D quote? Oh, everyone just sort of having fun with the quotes. All right. That being said, though, I think I have pulled the rant to its logical end. So for those of you who are watching on the VODs, thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys next time.